We rolling?
Yep, we're already rolling. What's in the box? This is What's in the Box podcast with Zach and normally Cheryl, but today we're at Mad World Artist Collective with the boys
Again.
The boys.
Yeah. I just want to come through, do a podcast with y'all because I already talked to Brooke about a couple things, but just to get you guys' perspective on things, shoot the shit. So
Yeah. Thanks for having us back on, man.
Yeah, no problem. First things first, I did ask Brooke this, but since you're here, just off the top, how does it feel doing the podcast? How does it feel for you? Ambitions that you have for it, or if you're just cruising?
Yeah, like for me, it all started with streaming, right? And
Shit, you're fine.
it all started with streaming because in 2020, we all got those stimulus checks, right? And I just bought a PC with mine, and I basically was like, I'm gonna try to make this into money, right? I'm gonna try to make this money into more money. And I love streaming. I got really into it. I was doing it every single night, and I stopped. I took a break, and then I realized like I missed that community I was building, and I started to really fall in love with other podcasts. I've listened to Joe Rogan and all this stuff, but like I really started to get interested in like Bad Friends and Two Bears and just like all these like other podcasts. I started realizing like it's pretty easy actually to start your own. And once I understood the logistics of the cameras and all that stuff, I was like, I think I can definitely do this. And then it just became kind of an obsession of how can I do this? So I think the last like year and a half has been like, how do I position myself to get more resources to be able to make this happen in the way that I see it in my head? And I think we're doing that. Like, I'm very happy with what we're doing, and like, it wasn't easy.
Just as a quick note, I was when I was talking to Brooke about this, I was saying like, and I gave it to him. I'll give it to you. I'll give you your props for it because I was telling him that like obviously like I've been doing. We talked about this before. I've been doing this for a while, and I'm good with just my phone and whatever, kind of low grade, but like the production value of your guys's, and then like watching it develop and seeing the progression, even with the 8 episodes that you guys have now. Like I told Brooke, and I'll say it to you, like I can see it, like it's gonna be good because it's already good in my opinion. Like it already has not only like obviously like you can put the bells and whistles in it, but if you have nothing to talk about, like it's not really gonna matter.
Yeah.
But like your guys' dynamic, how you guys put stuff together, you're not only just the episodes themselves, but like your advertising throughout, your clips that you do, like your guys' dynamic on how you talk and your ability to, you've had 8 variations of different kinds of personality types and different type of people. Different. And like your guys' ability to not only pivot, but make it seem effortless of like just sitting down, shooting the shit is like, so like the more you guys do it, in my opinion, it looks future wise, me looking at it from the outside.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be great.
I appreciate that a lot, man. Thank you. Because like it's not easy.
I'm excited. We have our first band coming on.
This
coming week. Yeah.
For like the musical guests, we're going to start adding that element and stuff to it.
No, our guests.
Oh, my bad. I was thinking 2 different wavelengths on that.
Yeah, no,
yes, our guest. Yes, my bad.
I didn't give any spoilers, but we talked about like ideas for the podcast, and that was one of them was having a musical guest.
I got your That's why I was just going to put it on yours. It's fine.
Was having the musical guests, and
that mic's not going to cut out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But no, that was, and then he was talking about the diversity of our guests, and I was like, we finally got a band. Took 8 or 9 episodes, but we finally got, an actual band members.
Well, because really we don't want, like, don't get me wrong, like we're down for like having a very wide, like we said, very wide range of people, but like we have a team that we have a meeting every week. Like no one's getting a paycheck yet, and it's all just based off of like passion and wanting to like help the venue. So it really comes down to like what's gonna actually fit in the venue's like idea of everything. So we're always gonna like entertain anybody who wants to come in and stuff, but we are like really choosing the right people to show that we have this wide range,
Mhm.
and we want a lot of people to be like, I think I could be a guest on
Mhm.
there too, and like, can we build more relationships with the venue? Can we get more artists that don't get that much, light, and they're fighting for it, and we see that, and we want to give that to them? You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that we have that opportunity, and that we can hopefully get better in a bigger team and better with the production. And like, there's even today, like what we just
Mhm.
saw was like a different way of how we would do a live setup and a live show. Like, just for anyone who was wondering, we were doing a dry run for an event that we're having coming up, and it was just a different setup than we've
Mhm.
had. And like, it's cool how you can have different forms of production levels for different things. And like with this one, it was different than what I normally do, but it's the right way to do it.
Mhm.
And I think that the more we adapt like that, the more you're going to see a lot more projects, not just our projects, but a more this venue being featured in so many
Mhm.
different, just like it's doing right now.
Well, that's
know?
kind of what I was. First of all, that idea is crazy and awesome. And I was going to tell you that, like, when I was like seeing the setup or whatever, I have not seen an idea like that, much less like. Obviously, you guys did the dry run. That's functional.
Yeah.
That would be like cool to watch.
It's low key.
Yeah,
Like, you can have an audience, and it's not like a over the top production,
or
which
like people
sometimes is
on
great.
top of you. Like, yeah.
But like, it can be the chill vibe that we want it to be,
Mhm.
right? And I think that that's so cool to have that at our home, you know.
And then I was telling Brooke that like the diversity of not only this place but like you guys, and like the vibe that you guys have cultivated here is nice to see. Like I said, from an outside standpoint, is because like you got a lot of venues, not just in Green Bay, but like overall, that like have like a very specific like type of thing. Like, if you're into this type of thing, your
We go
venue is
here,
here,
yeah.
or if you, and it's so
And
broad
they pop
and
up and they go
so,
away. And
yeah,
they
it's
pop up and they
so
go away.
broad and vast here that like the scheduling wise, like any day of the week, pretty much. I know that you guys like are working on that, but like any day of the week, you could be like, oh well, I really don't want to watch like comedy per se,
Yeah.
but like I really like to go see this type of artist or
Yep.
this type of band or whatever. Like, there is options that you can be like, okay, I might not show up Monday, but I'm definitely going on to every Tuesday.
And we'll
Like-
we try other things too. We've done poetry in the past. It might not be rolling 100%, every single week right now.
Yeah.
But we've done it in the past. Like, we're open to do those things. But like, even last night, the EDM show, when you see clips
Mhm.
of like how it was in here, you're like, oh my god, where is that?
Mhm.
Like, it gives you that vibe of like, wait, that's here.
Yeah,
And
that's not that's not like a huge event. Like I said that to Brooke, like that's not like a Resch Center like production. Like
Yeah.
that's accessible.
people like that homegrown,
Yeah.
that homegrown feel.
Mhm.
But it's it's still high quality sound. The live performances are great here.
Mhm.
When you feel the music, you're like, oh, I'm in a good spot for this music, right? And what I think that's so great about the area is that this specific place can be a super intimate show if you get a big person,
Mhm.
right? If we can say, hey, we get 150 tickets, we get a big name who's willing to do this low key, hype up security for the day. We do these, we sell specific amount of tickets, all these things. We plan it out. That's going to be a great time if you're seeing somebody you really idolize up on that stage.
Hell yeah.
And just in a cool environment, chill with just a small amount of people and no drama because nobody is drinking, nobody's getting drunk. Like, it's what we need more of.
Yeah.
I really think so. And that's why, like, I think we do this every week. Because we want to keep pushing this place.
I kind of asked Brooke earlier, but I'll ask you. I know that like the whole scope of Mad World was like a combination of ideas from a lot of different people, but like as far as like
Christian first,
yeah,
Christian all day.
As far as like you guys doing the podcast or whatever, how did that involvement come about, and like obviously choosing each other and the dynamic, because like everybody has a good idea of like we should start a podcast, but like it really is as important, if not more important, with the person you do it with.
Yeah.
Because like I've done other like podcast ish things that were a lot of fun, but the dynamic between the two of us wasn't right.
Yeah.
So it became more of a hassle and a job and not as fun. So like, I'll ask
And
you, like, how did
balance?
like how did that
every week? Man.
yeah, like how did that come with like the two of you and like, hey, this is our idea?
Really, like I said, Christian's really the cultivator of ideas that made Mad World, but like he's also even the person who was the connection between us two. He was just like, hey, Brooke does the host, in comedy night. I think you should meet him. And he's talked about doing a podcast also, and he loves movies.
Mhm.
That was really all. Like, I think when it first started with, you guys could talk about movies all day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like then we met. We had a couple like ideas of like what we could do with just comedians,
Mhm.
and because that's really where like our weekly stuff is, the podcast and the comedy stuff, right? We're here for a lot of the musical events, but like Christian really does run a lot of that side of it. But no, we were just bringing a lot of comedians in the back green room, and we're just like, how can we get this vibe that we're loving back here out into the world? And there were some times where we're like, this really isn't like long term. We can't keep this going like this. We need to find a way to kind of like make this a well-oiled machine to do this every single week, because we really did want to hit the ground running, right? Everybody loves when their podcast comes out every week. We know that's what gets things started. And it's a lot to get that end result, but I think we've created a really good system to be able to make it not too heavy, and we'll have more people as I think the team grows. But we had to scrap a couple episodes. We just had to, because we had a great time, but we just knew that like we were being sloppy with even some of the things we were bringing up. We were being sloppy with some of the maybe like references locally that we were like, we need to be a little more on ourselves if we're going to be really doing this the right way. So during those, me and Brooke were like, oh, we could talk all day.
Yeah.
Right. And then we started like messaging each other about like, hey, I think this is a good idea to do this. And once we kind of realized that we could message each other at any given moment about this, he's in, I'm in. Like, we're both going.
Yeah, that snowball started rolling really quickly.
Yeah. And then the chemistry on screen, because people have mentioned that, and like I appreciate that a lot, because like it really is just us being bros. Like, we didn't know each other a year ago, but we got a vibe. We're like, oh yeah, I'll go to a movie with dude. Like, you only go to movies with certain people.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go to a movie with my own fucking life.
I was gonna say, and also you don't want to go with that movie or that friend that ruins the movie for you. That's just like, can I watch like one scene of this movie? That'd be nice.
I would say you gotta give a movie at least 20 minutes before you've decided, all right, we're done dicking around.
Yeah,
we're gonna focus, or hey, we're gonna start dicking around, or because this is terrible.
Or keep your comments short.
Yeah,
like that's the part that bothers me about going to movies with people, is people that want to talk about it, which I'll make comments and stuff, but like want to give like a whole paragraph on what just happened. Like, okay, I'm still watching this though.
You know that she actually
it's
already too long. The moment you started with like a five.
Her hair was brown, it's supposed to be blonde. I get it.
3-word quips.
Yeah.
And they like the person has to know what you're talking about. You can't leave it up for like, you have to get to the point in those 3 words.
This is a great topic. What's the worst? I have a couple. What's the worst experience you've ever had in a movie theater?
Suicide Squad.
What?
Tell me about it. What? That was a quick one.
What?
Tell about it.
I've never wanted to walk out of a film.
Shut the fuck up.
Whoa, hold on. Are we talking about walking out of a film because of the film, or walking out of the film because of an experience that happened in the film, in the movie theater? I'm talking about like somebody did something.
Then let me answer that one first. I've never had really a negative experience at a movie theater.
Oh, okay.
I've had mostly only positives.
Okay.
Outside of the films themselves. The Suicide Squad is the only film I literally my buddy paid for my ticket. So I sat there and I kind of squeezed the arms of that chair for an hour and a half. Just kind of like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready. Like, it was, to me, that was so bad. It was so bad.
I have a theater story with you, which you don't know about.
That I don't know about?
Well, I don't know. You might know it by now. But I've referenced, this was early. That's so, beneficial for the fact that like I have a whole year's worth of podcasts that nobody knows about, because there's stuff I've talked about that sometimes I'm like, have I mentioned this before? And I'm like, no, that was like nobody ever saw.
That was forever ago.
Yeah, but Dark Knight Returns, the third one, third Dark Knight. So I remember us going to that.
We
all used to go to movies like at midnight, and we would dress up and like
I love
the whole deal, right? Which is
Star Wars, all that.
I'll tell a short side story to that. So we went to the Avengers, the original Avengers, and we had planned for like a week beforehand to like dress up, right? And everybody forgot until like that night. So we had a group of maybe like 10, 15 people. Some of them showed up with handmade costumes, but for the most of us, we forgot we were going.
Yep.
So we went. We did. We went to Walmart and made one of my friends bought purple women's sweatpants, cut them off, bought the $10 Hulk mask.
Yep.
And like we made one of our friends as Thor and got a blanket and some shiny duct tape and made like it was so.
And with that same shiny duct tape, someone taped an H onto my chest for
Hawkeye. Yeah.
And I believe it was a children's bow.
Yeah, you did. And then I just had a dress shirt with one of the push lights underneath it.
That was a good one.
And then the Iron Man mask.
That was probably the best one.
It was. It was, to be quite honest, but then like,
oh, that's so funny.
But
so that was funny.
That was the same night all the nerds sang "Happy Birthday" to me.
Yeah, we got the whole theater to sing "Happy Birthday"
because it came out on May 4th
before the movie started. And it was a double level theater too, one of the big ones.
Yeah,
and the whole theater sang "Happy." It was so cool.
It was cool.
But anyway, Dark Knight Returns. So we had done that multiple times with like our group of friends, and so we were gonna go see Dark Knight Rises, and I normally had a friend that we used to watch movies all the time. We used to go to movies like every day because we both didn't have a job, and so we would go to like the budgets, and we saw so many fucking movies in 2 years. It was crazy. But so I would always sit with him, and like we would critique it as we were watching it, and then we ended up like doing like a before podcast, like a podcast about it, and like talking about it, and logistically that whole night was just ridiculous. Like nobody knew whose car they were going to get. People showed up late. We didn't know if we were going to make it on time. We didn't know who was going to sit by who. Like it was so frustrating. And then we also had younger, like Brooke, we also had younger kids with younger people with us who were arguing and fighting the whole time and like relationship stuff too. So like by the time we got to the theater, like everybody's fucking exhausted and like I don't want to do this. And then me and my friend,
good way to go into a movie.
Oh, that's my point. So like me and my friend, I'm sitting here, he's sitting up here. We had two people in our group that ended up sitting way down by we're on the side. They ended up sitting way down by the like screen. So like we're all separated. And because I was in such a bad mood watching that movie, I was picking it apart so fucking bad. Like it was just so, and it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie by any means. But like the whole time, and I remember being so mad.
Would say that.
I remember being so mad at that movie when I walked out, and I'm like, this movie fucking sucks. This is stupid. Why would they even do another movie after Dark Knight? Like this is so fucking. They didn't even do it. Bane sucked. Like the whole thing. And then like,
which wasn't true.
It wasn't true. And then like a couple months after, I watched it again by myself, and I was like,
"It's a great movie.
Oh, this movie is great." Like,
so it wasn't necessarily with me. It was
just with you involved.
Okay. I was like, "What the fuck did I do?"
When he takes off the rope and makes the jump. Oh,
dude, it's so good.
I don't remember much of that night, but I remember how that night felt, and I don't blame you.
Dude, it was just the energy going into watching it that like objectively now.
And didn't we still even like stop at Toppers after and like all just
everybody was everybody didn't talk to each other. We went to Toppers and we're all sitting there. Nobody's talking to each other.
We were all enjoying Toppers though.
Yeah. Did you at least like the scene when the stadium exploded?
Oh, for sure. There's a whole
in the theater that was fantastic.
There's a lot of things about that movie that I love so much now. But like I said, just the energy that night, I couldn't enjoy anything about the movie.
You know what I do hate about that movie is they teased Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Batman or as Robin so hard.
Yeah, but they did anything. But they did it such a bad. They did it in such a bad way, though. Like I understand,
it was too in your face.
No, it wasn't even that. It was more of like his name's Robin. Okay, but that doesn't line up with anything that you're trying to get at.
It was just a tease. It was just a little throw in the end there.
It's kind of
hold on. Hold on.
What?
Think of the universe we're in.
No,
there is no reason. artistically
So
other than
many things that were
introducing
outside of-
Robin.
Yeah.
Like no one, like there's no reason they'd give that name to anyone else except Robin.
Okay, but what I'm saying is like with what they
This character's
It
name is
doesn't line up
Frodo.
with
Well,
the-
that's
saying-
coincidental.
I'm saying
Everyone
comic
was
book.
named
I'm saying
Frodo.
comic book wise, it made no
And
sense.
it doesn't line up with anything that you would
Yeah.
follow. Yeah, no, I get what
Yeah.
you're saying. And that's why I said I don't really feel like it was super necessary to really make it that obvious.
No.
Especially when they didn't do anything with it because it doesn't line up, like you said, with
Yeah.
a lot of that. But anyway.
I think I was genuinely
I love
more
it.
excited at the idea of Joseph Gordon-Levitt doing it
Yes,
than
and
having
then it never
Robin
happened.
in general.
But also one of the things that's really funny that Cheryl has said over the years is that her biggest problem watching that movie was knowing Bane and like being a comic book fan or whatever. And so like watching that, she's told me this many times. Watching that movie, she's like, Bane can't be the villain. There's no way he's the villain. He's not a villain. He's a henchman. He can't be the villain.
Yeah.
And so like
You're
the
not
whole
that
time,
guy.
so the whole time she's watching this movie, she's like, there has to be somebody else. And then she was like, I was with my dad, and when Talia comes up, she's like, I fucking knew it.
Yeah, because no, he is a henchman.
That
You're right.
bitch.
He's a great henchman. He runs everything. He's
But the what a beautiful voice, that was my text tone for like years after. Just because it was that's one of my favorite moments of that movie.
How daunting was it though, the moment that you heard that in the theater? Where his voice wasn't a natural voice. It was a voice over type blend. And you're like, oh,
it's so good. It like pumps you up. Like you're like, oh.
Because like you can't make Bane a physical person without something outside to add to it. And obviously the mask, it connects the two, right? And I thought I actually really, really liked it because it made him feel larger than life when he was beating his ass. Like and the break. Oh,
it made it more. I mean, realistic, but it made it more like when that moment happened, you're like, oh, I buy this.
I do wish
like,
they would have juiced him at one point.
Dude,
I wish they had a moment where he got a little just even harder.
Okay, I'll ask you about.
Hold on, you don't think that would have been out of place?
Yeah, I mean,
for the whole series, I feel like a moment where it gets a little cartoony is
something. Give me something.
That was my question. Is
make him a junkie. Make him like a general.
How do you feel about Batman and Robin?
Which one?
The George Clooney one.
Never. I'd never watched the George Clooney ones.
Okay, so
we can't have a good conversation.
No, hold on.
He's the one that everybody goes, "What's George doing here?"
My
watch that.
That's fair.
What's he doing here?
My take on that is that like everybody hates that movie because of like George Clooney and whatever. But if you go by like the pow bang like comic book stuff, that was exactly what it was. It was over the top. It was Bane with the fucking juice. Yeah. It was like the whole
Poison
thing was
Ivy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ivy. One of my favorite. Honestly, one of my favorite Batman.
I actually think I did see that. I think I've seen.
We'll have to add that to the list for movies that we got to watch.
So good.
I sometimes like I'm a little on the fence because I love George Clooney and I really don't want to like look at him as a bad Batman, even though like I know I've seen clips.
He makes a great Bruce Wayne.
You put
because he plays he plays himself.
Hold on.
Absolutely, though.
And this might not be a hot take. You put George Clooney in any of the other Batmans that we've had, he is the worst Batman ever. I think for what we got out of George Clooney, it was pretty good.
Batman, yes. I would say that I would put Christian Bale probably top 3 in my opinion out of everything that we've got. But I would say George Clooney as far as a Bruce Wayne, spot on.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible Batman. But
it's hard to get the Batman right.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
For everybody.
Yeah. I like Christian Bale as an actor in general. Like I really like.
No, yeah,
Fighter. Oh, God,
yeah,
dude.
me too.
Like,
it's one of my favorite movies.
Christian Bale is a hard one to miss as far as like your favorite Batman.
I have this joke. I'm trying to.
You pull out like a Michael Keaton or something. Like I'll give you some leeway, but like you're pushing a line there.
I'm trying to bring this joke up where it's like I didn't know being a nerd was. I thought being a nerd means you're super smart. It's just that you really love Batman. Well, that's fine. Sign me up and tell me where the fuck is Rachel.
That's a good one.
Oh man, but no, I'll give you my story that made me think about this. So I went to a Jurassic Park movie with my buddy and his son and a buddy. And I'm not going to drop any names.
Which movie?
The newest Jurassic Park.
Okay,
Scarlett Johansson's one, right? So I'm at like a budget theater that's selling pizza, and like not like crazy. And so
the cardboard pizza.
He tells me, hey, his buddy, you know, he's his buddy. I'm like, all right, whatever. What does that mean? Whatever. He just goes, yeah, he's just his friend. I'm like, all right, cool.
Kind of like that friend that shows up to Thanksgiving every single year.
But it's like
Roommate.
This is a person I would not choose to go to a movie with, and
Okay.
he didn't want to tell me that, right?
Oh.
And so when we get there, we're like at the concession stand, and he goes, you know, they got all the stuff listed, and they have the cups right there, and the price is right on the cups. And he goes, "How much is a large?" And he points at the large. How big is the large? Points at the large at the price, and they gotta look at it to see if it's still
Oh my
there,
god.
right? And so
I don't know how much is the large. I didn't
didn't
look.
start well, right? Didn't start well. And then this kid, while the movie's going, asks, like, you know, they're really quiet and they're whispering in those theaters when they're doing their orders and stuff. And he goes, "How much is a pizza?" We're like, "Gosh,
Stop.
can you get cheese and pepperoni?" Like, dude, not kidding. Next thing you know, right? I see him, and you hear. You're like, "What's going on over there?" He's pouring his Skittles into like the hot dog boats,
Oh.
right? So he can just place them there and just
You know, like what the bag is designed for.
yeah. And so like, don't get me wrong, I understand the perspective of he's like, maybe I'm trying to be quieter with just pulling from the thing,
Okay.
but like,
It was just a constant.
and, right,
Bro, dump it out already.
oh, dude, and so like. I'm looking at my buddy, and he goes, "Yeah, I tried to warn you a little bit, right?" Next thing you know, 30 minutes later, homie is re-stringing his shoelaces mid-movie. And I'm looking at him with this face like, what am I seeing right now? And then I looked at my buddy, same face. It's just, what is he doing? Like, never again, bro.
But like, if you don't want to see the movie, bro, just go.
Oh,
just go
and
home.
luckily,
I
it was
mean-
the last Jurassic Park, which isn't crazy. It was all right. It was. I'm not
Okay.
like gonna, but like, oh,
Sure.
that was probably one of the worst movie going experiences I've ever had.
I got
never remember a movie at all.
I got to scream in an empty theater, which was so good. Because
What
like
movie was it
Lawless,
with
Tom Hardy and
I was saying,
Shia
was that the
LaBeouf.
Tom Hardy movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
Is that-
Walked up.
I was watching it at the Budgets, nobody around. It was like 2 PM. Nobody's in the theater, just me and my friend. And we're watching it. It's a good movie. And then the end scene where they show like after Tom Hardy like gets shot and everything.
Oh,
And, like,
spoiler, I
you-
haven't seen it.
Sorry.
So it's fine.
and you think that like he's dead or whatever. This is gonna be a spoiler. And you think that like he's dead or whatever. The next scene is him alive on the porch in like his cardigan and shit. And I just because there was nobody there, I just screamed out. I was like, "What the fuck? How is he still fucking alive? What the fuck are you guys doing?" And then like I looked around, like, "Oh yeah, that's right. It's an empty theater. Like it's fine. It's fine."
Snap. Oh.
Yeah, that's what I did too. It was impulse. I was like, "Oh shit! Oh, never mind."
What? How many movies have you seen by yourself in a theater?
By myself?
Yeah. No. As in, like, you were the only one in the theater.
Oh,
I've had quite a few.
actually, I've only had like 5
Yeah.
that have been like
that's a
completely
decent
alone.
amount for a person.
I probably have a couple more because, like I said, me and my friend used to watch movies like almost every day.
Yeah.
Of just me and him, but like as far as like just me alone in the theater, probably like 5. Yeah.
I mean, this year alone, I went to, I think, more movies by myself. I wasn't alone in the theater, but I probably went to more movies by myself because, like, I'll just go on a Tuesday because there were so many great movies. I wanted to see Marty Supreme. I wanted to see Sinners. I wanted to see Avatar. I wanted to see all those in the theater the way they're supposed to be. And oh man, when I was the only one at the ending of Sinners because everybody had left. God, that feels so good. You feel
That
like,
you get to be the one that's
you feel so
man,
good, dude.
should have stayed.
Should have stayed.
Damn it.
You're not real.
I feel like that was the first, and there were spoilers for like the first like in cut scene for Marvel, but I feel that same way about the first guy that stayed to the end of a Marvel movie, like
Oh,
before
yeah.
we knew that was a thing.
They were cutscenes,
Like
yeah.
just walking out, like, did you guys see that? See what? Oh, bro.
Go
You
buy another
missed it. You
ticket.
Or
missed
like
it.
certain experiences, like I truly do love when you like sit in a movie theater and you know you're about to watch a really good movie, whether you've seen
For
it
sure.
and you know you're gonna love it, or you know that the reviews are phenomenal for this movie. Like when Interstellar comes into a theater,
Mhm.
I will always probably go see it because it's my favorite movie, and getting that experience in the theater with the audio and just that when he's spinning and you're in a theater, you're just like, this is amazing.
I felt that way about Pacific Rim.
Okay.
Like watching Pacific Rim in theaters, like
Yeah.
it's a different
It's pretty
experience seeing it at
intense.
home. But like those first couple of couple of times when like you feel like the footsteps in the water and like the like it's just crazy.
Yeah, dude. I love movies like that, man. Like, but I also do love like movies that just take you on a fucking journey. Like Marty Supreme is like, hey, grab on and hold the fuck on.
Mhm.
Like he's running the whole time, and you're just like, I can't keep this, but it's so enticing, I can't look away. And like I think he might win because of that. Like, I don't think it's gonna win Best Picture. I don't think did it get nominated for Best
No.
Picture? No, just him. His performance got nominated for
Yeah.
actor. He could win, but I'd love to see Leo win because One Battle After Another was fantastic. But I'm also on the team. If Sean Penn doesn't win supporting, I don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, but also I mean
It was so good.
not to defeat my point about Leo DiCaprio, but like Sean Penn's done so many phenomenal movies that like can we give him a pass on one?
Dude, what's the River movie? What's that movie?
Talking about Mystic River?
Mystic River.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Have you ever seen him talking about that scene when he sees the daughter?
No.
I might have caught a clip of it, but not to.
Which is a nuts visual that they did for that one, right? You
Yeah,
remember that? It's
yeah.
engraved in your mind when you see it. But they said we want Sean Penn to go so crazy that he needs 7 to 8 people to hold him back.
Mm-hmm.
So they brought in extra people as police and said, Sean, lose your fucking mind. And he did. And man, you're like, this is why Sean Penn will always be around. And like, even little small performances like Secret Life of Walter Mitty, just iconic in that
I
movie.
didn't see that one.
You got it.
What?
I'm
That
not
movie made me leave the country. I went to Honduras. I was scared to go to Honduras because I don't know Spanish, and I went by myself. I watched that movie a week before. I said, "I'm fucking going, dude."
I thought that was
Like-
gonna go a completely different direction.
Oh, no.
like
I'm
I just could not stay in this country
motivated.
so
You can do
far.
anything after watching that movie.
I-
dude. Oh man,
I'm a bigger Jerry Stiller fan than I am a Ben Stiller fan.
Jerry Stiller.
His dad? Yeah.
Jerry Stiller. Why
What's
did I
it?
not know this?
What's it called?
As soon as you see a
Um,
picture of his face, you're gonna be
King,
like,
King of Queens.
that's right.
The
No,
dad.
put some
Oh,
respect on
really?
his name,
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
Really?
Well, yeah,
Put
that
some
too.
respect on his name, Seinfeld.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, no. Oh, wow! I did not know that. But I'm sorry, King of Queens. I immediately would get that.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you said the Seinfeld reference, I would have needed you to narrow it down for that one. I went to
Costanza's dead.
So
That
George
would have got me.
Costanza's
That would have got me. I would have got
Yeah,
that.
no,
I would have got that one.
he's a pretty. At a certain point, he becomes a pretty frequent character.
But I grew up with CW a lot and WB. So
King of Queens is going to be
King of
on
Queens
there.
is hard
Yeah,
for me, dude.
yeah.
on loop 24/7 for
Dude.
20 plus years.
Kevin James deserves every fucking thing that he has right
Dude,
now.
for real.
Because he went through that and he shined in that show, but stuck with it forever and then jumped when he started doing all the Adam Sandler stuff and his own stand-up now and all that. Like, I think he really he created his own style, his own genre of comedy. It's physical and mending with actual great comedy lines. I love it.
I
You don't
appreciate.
like Kevin James?
No, it's not that. I just think he's just a fat Adam Sandler for a lot of his stuff.
Well, I was just
I don't like. I'm not taking anything away from Kevin. He's great. It's just
the fat thing.
No,
was
I don't
the
see
fat
an
thing was
individual.
unnecessary.
I see.
Sometimes
Okay, fine. I
The
see
fat-
a big Adam Sandler, and it's
The fat
because
thing was a little
of the
harsh.
weird goofiness and the
Yeah.
weird physical
Yeah.
I was
comedy.
gonna say, yeah,
And like
the
it does,
mannerisms are sometimes
it
similar.
feels unique, but it feels that way because there's only really been one other person to do it that well, and it was
Mhm.
Adam Sandler.
Because think about Grown Ups when he's like acting like his leg broke and he's like coming up from the hill. That and then he like I got you. Like that's a very actually Adam Sandler kind of a feel.
Which
So I
is
totally get you.
I was saying, no shot to them. Like
No, no, no.
they all like
They're
that
best
whole
buds.
group, Sandler and all the guys he's with, they all do it great.
They're best buds, and that's their style. That's their group style. They all get to do it. Like,
So what's one
love
of
it.
your I kind of know your answer, but what's one of your underground movies that you really love personally, but like a lot of other people that you tell it are kind of like, what the fuck? It doesn't necessarily have to be like indie underground.
can I give
but like
a list of like 4 or 5?
sure.
Okay. Bicentennial Man. I talk about that one a lot. I think Robin Williams is. Wow, man, I love Robin Williams. In the same light, I almost want to say Dead Poet Society.
I fucking love that movie.
I'm making a 2-parter on that one just for Robin, then I'll get off of Robin Williams. But like, I love those 2 movies.
That's my dad's name in my
I
phone.
got such a deep cut.
Izzo
for you.
Captain, my captain.
I got such a deep cut. for you.
Captain, my captain. I want to get that tattooed on.
I put that as I put that as my dad's name in my phone when I first got a phone.
Ethan Hawke in that movie too.
Yeah.
Like, is great.
It's
star
so
for it.
good.
No one,
Dude.
everyone hit in that one.
Everyone.
Yeah.
The Count of Monte Cristo.
We talked about that the last
I'd say
time.
we talked about
For sure. That's one of mine. Is that like that's one of the ones that I tell people and they're like, I've never seen it, and I'm like, fucking do it now.
It's
a good one.
It's an art. It's
Yeah.
an art. It's a true masterpiece of a movie for me. So what am I? I had 2, right? So
Yeah.
I did that 2-parter. D-Cup movie is a come on. I have a lot.
You want to circle back?
No, not quite. Remember The Core?
Yes,
The Core.
that's one of my few like doomsday movies I actually really enjoy
Ooh,
watching.
I love The
Mhm.
Core.
Yeah.
With that laser.
Armageddon was too much.
Armageddon
Armageddon was
was
too
too
much.
I'm trying to think of like, there's so many great movies, but as soon as I would say them, I'd be like, that's a super well known movie, right?
They can be well known. It's just one of those movies that like you like that other
2001
people.
Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I
Yeah.
watch that sometimes going to sleep a lot. I do. It's just a great movie.
That honestly, out of all the
Awesome.
movies you've listed, that's probably the most mainstream one.
Yeah.
But the thing is, for me, it's like when I'm okay. It's a funny thing. When I'm watching that movie, I'll say 2 things about that movie before I say my last one. One, you have to skip the first like 20 minutes or 30 minutes if your girlfriend's sleeping because it's just apes going for fucking 30 minutes. And if she wakes up to that and watching those apes fighting on the screen,
What are you doing? Nothing. Go back to sleep. It's
what
fine.
the fuck are you watching,
nothing.
dude?
You wouldn't understand.
Because it keeps going. You think it's not that long. You're like, oh my god, this is really 25 minutes. And then the ending, I love the ending and I get the ending, but it's 20 minutes of like a screensaver, metaphorical artistry type thing. And if somebody walks in on you, like at the start of that, and doesn't know that you were just watching an entire 2 hours of a whole story and all this stuff that explains what you're watching, they're just like, what the fuck are you watching?
That's how I feel about Fifth Element. The end of Fifth Element.
Yeah.
If you don't know what happened in most of the first half of that movie, that ending part, you're like, what the fuck am I watching?
That last 10%
Yeah, that's
is
what
a
I'm saying.
completely different movie than the first
Yeah.
90.
And I've had it happen where somebody walks in like, what the fuck are you watching? I'm like, I swear there's
I swear this isn't what it
But then
looks
it
like.
comes to the baby and they're like, what is this? And I'm like, it's cultivation of humanity actually.
If you got a minute, I'll explain
But
it.
also I have an obsessive thought when it comes to that movie. Hal, Hal, the fucking computer, the AI computer, and obviously with everything going on with AI right now, it really they pose a question that I don't think anybody really brings up or asks. When Hal shuts out the aliens and kills everybody, spoiler alert, kills everybody, and the aliens or the not the aliens, the astronauts, sorry, said the wrong word. When Hal keeps out the astronauts and dude is like, open up the door, and he's like, I can't do that. Right? And he had to like bypass the security to get in, and he whatever shut Hal down. If he did not do that, and that astronaut had to go somewhere else or die, whatever, and Hal succeeded in shutting him out, what was he going to do?
Hal or the guy?
The guy, Hal.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
he could have done whatever the hell he wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was an infinite AI computer who had full control of a spaceship, who could have gone anywhere because time is irrelevant, what would he have done? Like
I would assume in a
Time
dystopian-
wouldn't have been relevant, but resources would have been. That ship still needs power,
that's true.
yeah.
and if it's going to go somewhere, it's going
But
to
it has
use that
solar.
power.
So I mean,
Is okay.
it
Okay.
has- I mean, like
He probably just would have got rid of everybody.
I just
I'm
don't know
just
what
saying.
he would have done. Like, what were you?
Why not?
Because he was doing it for a reason,
Yeah.
right? He was killing these people for a reason. And what would he have done? And it just makes me question like all the AI stuff they're doing right now. And like for me, it's just such an obsessive thought. What would Al have done? I want to know. I gotta know, dude.
It's one of those things that wakes you up in the
Oh, it
middle of
does
the night.
sometimes.
You're
It
like,
really does.
What
hell!
was number 4?
No, it's number 5. This is my last.
Yeah.
One.
Oh.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
will be my last one, I think. Number 5. Can I say show rather than movie?
Sure.
Sure.
Just give me one.
Okay.
Dark.
The show Dark?
Yeah, you brought it Dark up a couple
I
times.
truly believe that Dark is one of the greatest shows of all time.
Sure.
I think it's a top 10 show of all time. If people were actually to sit and watch it, like,
That has the dubbed and or the translated version,
Mhm.
right? Yeah.
and that's the thing. You gotta
that's
get over
that's
that.
the killer.
It is.
Yeah.
It totally is, man. That and the OA, like those two shows, I think are deep ones that a lot of people have seen from time to time, but they won't watch because of certain things.
Mhm.
They know that OA got canceled, so they won't start it. And then Dark, it's the language thing.
Oh my god! Speaking of shows like that though, but like I saw a video of a girl saying, "How can I expect commitment from you if you can't watch One Piece?" And I was like, "Okay, that's a bit excessive. One Piece is like 1,000
That's
fucking
Can we say-
episodes. Like that's
extremely
like,
excessive.
like that's like,
Here's the thing, can we say it without watching?
I could
Shippuden?
start it.
Can we say Shippuden? Like, if you wanted to watch Naruto Shippuden, then that's a good
Yeah.
choice. Because, like, that's tough, it's doable. And I haven't done it yet, but I look at it as an obtainable thing. I don't look at One Piece as an attainable
Well, that's what I'm
thing.
saying.
No.
Like because of how long and how many episodes it is, like it's just I could watch a show, maybe take up like a week or two and catch up. You're taking months out of your fucking life
Dude,
to
it's
just
almost-
be
it's not even months.
caught
It's a year.
yeah.
It's a year.
That's
Because
just crazy.
Lost takes months.
Yeah,
Genuinely.
Lost is still one of my
Gonna be
Lost is still one of my biggest.
Granted, this is if you have a life and a job and a family.
just-
like it's gonna
it's
take.
not-
It takes a long time.
Not the show itself.
Wait, hold on. What? What did I
Not the
miss?
show itself.
I started to.
Lost is one of his biggest disappointments.
The end.
So,
The end
hold on.
is just
Hold
my
on.
one of my biggest disappointments.
Hey, real quick before we continue, can I get my real quick
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
mirror mask?
What is that?
You can continue.
What's Mirror Mask?
Mirror
The-
mask.
Wait, the show, Mirror
The
Mask?
movie.
Oh,
Can you send
No.
it to me?
Oh, yeah. Well,
Send it to me.
I'll link it to you.
Is it
That was my
something I
answer
can
to your
watch?
question that we started with.
oh.
Is
Like-
Do you have any more, or is that
No,
just
just
it?
more.
That's the only one I need.
Come on, give me some more. Pull out the gold.
I'll give you mine if you need a minute.
I don't know.
Go
personally, mirror
Go ahead.
mask to me is very gold.
I was
Oh,
gonna.
we're coming
I
back
was,
to Lost.
I was gonna say. I'm not gonna forget this.
Keep an L in my
I would
pocket
say.
as far as
I would
know.
say grind is in there.
Woo-hoo! We all love grind.
Just
dude.
because.
Get
just
the
because-
moron out the pool.
just because like I was just talking to you about this when we were just chilling before we did the podcast, but like that's one of those movies that I always thought everybody knew.
Yeah.
Like growing up, because I loved it so much and I've
Cool,
watched
you
it
know.
so much. But like besides Brooke, any other person that I've been like, yeah, it's like one of my favorite movies. They're like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, no, it had like you gotta watch it, and I'll explain it, and they'll be like, that sounds dumb. I'm like, no, it's not. It's one of the greatest comedies of all time.
She has an SUV, a nice sub.
Oh my god, it's so good. I quote that so
Dude,
often.
there's a line though, like if they don't like grind, they've never rode skateboard before.
For
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
You've
Ah.
ridden a skateboard at least at some point in your life if you watch grind.
You know what's nostalgic for me, and I know that like I'm not that old, but like as you get older, you start to think of things. Nostalgic for me for grind is like that community of your friends, like that whole movie is
Oh,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, like that. Like I remember having that community of
It's a good
friends, and
it's a
I
good
remembered like us just going against the world and like doing stupid shit and just like enjoying being around each other.
Yep.
And so like watching that movie now as an adult, I'm like, that was so fun.
Well, because they
Like,
chased it so hard, right?
Yeah.
The whole message is like the dedication's there, but like it's not until you actually do it for the love of it
Mhm.
when you actually will get those opportunities and you'll shine the way you should shine.
Mhm.
Because as soon as they stopped chasing it, is when they got noticed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. And they looked special because they had been through the grinder and we were just happy to be here.
I quote so many different parts of that movie so often. I do the chili thing almost all the time.
Yes.
And I do I it's a little thing with me and Brooke, but I do that Bam does when he tells him, I do that all the time. And like the super duper
cameo.
The super duper skates, I do that to my wife all the time. Well, that's just a freaking outrage.
Super duper.
No, I can't believe they haven't heard super duper skates. That's a fucking outrage. Like that almost all the time. But yeah, Grind's definitely up
Your
there.
team sucks. Oh god, you little kid.
Ladies.
But no, I got another quick skateboard. If you've seen this, you rode skateboard before. Lords of Dark.
Lords of Darktown,
Yes.
yes.
Sad.
Also, yep.
Sad movie, but great movie.
Also
Sad
one of my
movie.
favorite
Give
movies.
me your other ones.
Count of Monte Cristo's on there. I don't know. I just watched. I was just talking about this like a couple weeks ago. Fuck, I can't remember. Pearl Harbor.
Ooh.
My only
Ben Affleck.
My only critique of that movie. It's a great movie. My only critique is, like I told you, it's just too long. It's not a bad movie in my opinion. It's just too long.
There's some stretch.
Like they could have shortened it up a little bit.
They could have shaved 45 minutes out of that.
But the movie
was it 2.5?
But it's
least.
almost as long as Titanic. It's bad. It's like really long, but it's a really good movie though.
We didn't need Titanic at all.
Dude, come on. You want to hear a funny story about Titanic?
You can shorten Titanic.
First grade, my teacher was like, "Hey, draw something that you guys like." And I'm like, "Draw."
The only thing I know how to draw are naked women from
like,
Titanic.
I'm so sorry, Mom, but like I love Titanic growing up for some reason. Like I love that it was on 2 VHSs for some reason. I thought it was so cool. And like,
that's awesome.
Right?
You're just in first grade drawing titties.
I love Leonardo DiCaprio. Swear to God, though, she had to come in the next day because I had drawn the whole thing of the couch, real detailed.
Was it good?
Oh, it was good. I think it was good.
Full bush,
dude. I remember I got the curl of the fucking couch.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's some shit. Okay, so
tasteful. Come on.
I know objectively as a parent, you got to be like, dude, come on. But that's some shit that I would save.
We're gonna save
it.
You're framing that.
Yeah,
you're framing that.
Look how good it is.
We've all seen Titanic. We've all seen those tits.
I also have a side story to that. My brother rewound that scene so many times. So my mom, first of all, by himself, so many times, right? But then my mom owned a daycare. Hold on. My mom owned a daycare. And she built it herself. And in the back of the daycare for the middle schoolers or whatever, there was a TV room where you could bring her thing was because it was a daycare, you could bring your own movies and then that'll keep that section of kids there. My brother brought Titanic from our house to this daycare.
Jesus Christ.
With other kids around. And the TV room wasn't separate. It was literally just a hole in the wall that went to the whole other half.
Brandon, no.
Yeah. Fast forwarded it.
He did?
To that scene.
Oh my God.
And
not through the scene, but to the scene.
He's 6 or 7. And just sitting there by himself, nobody around, just sitting there watching it. It's so funny.
You know what's funny is that a lot of times people say that Lord of the Rings scene where the girl flashes herself. I'm sorry. Not Lord of the Rings. Game of Thrones.
So we watched a very different Lord of the Rings.
That's like that other.
Send me a link. Send me a link.
That's like that other Planet of the Apes that's a porn that you just stumble across.
But you know the scene in Game of Thrones
where she's on the back of the cart.
Yeah, they say that's the most rewounded moment in cinematic history. I
can't buy that.
I feel like Titanic was probably pretty fucking close.
For sure.
At the time. There's no statistics. It was on VHS.
I could see Titanic.
Sure.
I could see Titanic cracking the top 10 of most reviewed.
I rewound Titanic during that scene. I contributed.
I was gonna say he has numbers on his own.
There's got to be better scenes in Game of Thrones alone that would beat that one.
Yeah, but when you had VHSs, you didn't have Game of Thrones.
That's true. But you had what you could get.
All right, back to Lost.
No, hold on.
Okay.
You want more of your?
You only gave one.
We gave you time. So what were they?
Y'all been yapping. I've been. I legitimately think a lot of my tastes suck.
I remember you got a lot of shit for Inglourious Bastards for a long time.
Yeah, but I think that was just because it was the hottest ticket out at the moment,
Yeah,
and like people were still really sensitive about that shit.
it's still hilarious.
I mean, I
It's
do
so
have an
good movie.
unhealthy obsession with Quentin Tarantino, so like I'd put every one of his numbers on that shit. Even Jackie
Yeah.
Brown, and I'm not even a huge fan of Jackie Brown.
Brown's good though. Jackie Brown is good.
I think it's my least favorite Tarantino film.
Yeah, but I still think it's a good movie.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I watched it late, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." Yeah, but all right, we'll talk about Lost. So, quick thing: how many times?
You're
have you watched
wrong.
it?
You're wrong. Anyway,
How many times have you watched it?
Like all the way through?
Yeah.
Twice. I just can't. Okay, the investment to get to that to still be disappointed. I can't.
Why are you disappointed?
I'm disappointed in the ending.
What about the ending?
It just seemed like a long build up for kind of like a meh. It wasn't a horrible ending to a series.
What do
It
you
was just
believe?
kind of like
What do you believe happened? That's what I. Because here's the thing. I think that the ending is very misunderstood because people get confused of what's purgatory and what's not. Right.
Mhm.
So what do you think is like the real ending? Because who cares about spoilers at this point? Like,
can I ask one quick question?
Yeah.
Do
what's
you hold that
lost?
same energy
What's
for
lost?
Do you hold that same energy for How I Met Your Mother?
Yes.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
for
That's
sure.
all I needed to fucking
For sure.
clarify with you.
But okay, but also two different classifications though. Because How I Met Your Mother is the same as Big Bang Theory, is the same as Seinfeld. You can watch episode by episode and still like you don't need to know the storyline. You don't need to really like you know what I mean? Like there are shows that like
well, it's network television. You had to have that.
The issue
Well, yeah.
with How I Met Your Mother, though,
But
is that How I Met Your Mother is supposed to have a storyline.
I get that, but you don't need a good last season for How I Met Your Mother to enjoy How I Met Your
Oh,
Mother.
I
the
think
last
they were-
season's
I
way
think they
too
were
much in
both-
one day.
I
Lost,
think they were both.
I agree with that for
I
sure.
think they both had the same social impact, and I feel like that's why I wanted to call you out on it because I was like, you better be holding that motherfucker to the same standard because
but see,
it might be different, but it's
But
the same.
Lost also was this, and I'll say the same context for Sons of Anarchy too. Lost was a overall storyline. Like it wasn't just I really like this one episode that I can watch all the time.
You can't do the same
Like
thing with
it-
that.
Oh,
Like, it
okay.
has
You
to
know what?
be-
I think I see what you're saying there. I
The
think I
same
do.
with Sons of Anarchy. Like you can like an episode or two, but like the storyline is through the whole series.
Yeah.
Whereas like How I Met Your Mother, like you can chop it up into seasons. You can chop it up into certain
I'm wanting
things.
to rewatch the ending. I have to start from the beginning of the last
Yeah.
season. I can't just watch the last episode.
Yeah.
There's like a whole lot. But like just for to like to humor me. Because I feel like I've gone too deep into it that like I feel like I can give you some info that might make you feel differently. So
I
tell me
think-
what you, what
I
you-
think the purgatory thing is right. That they were still like in that purgatory state.
on the island,
Yeah.
they weren't. So everything on the island actually does happen. It's real. So like the only thing that's purgatory is the church and them finding their way to the church when they're in that in the stage where they're off the island
Mm.
and they're getting pulled to this church basically.
Mhm.
That is a purgatory. Anything with that church in the white, like that is the island actually happens. And when they got off of the island, they did actually get off of the island and choose to go back. None of the things that on the island happened were in purgatory. And that's what confuses a lot of people. Because
That makes more sense.
they actually did save the world.
It makes I'm not changing my mind. I'm just saying it
No, I
makes
know.
more sense.
No, I don't think you are.
Because the way you got to look at it is there's a light in the island, right? And Jack sacrifices his life because the light goes out at one point, right? When they kill and if the light goes out, then that light is actually what powers everybody's, like the light inside of everybody. So when that light goes out and that darkness, that's the black mist, will then be released onto the world because it's trapped on the island as long as that light is up,
Mhm.
right? So the significance of Jack giving his life up at the end is to replace the light so that he basically saves the world from the darkness taking over.
So
And-
it's still on that island.
yeah, and Hugo is now the actual like what Jacob was, and the now Hugo is the person who has to guard the light for the next time. But the island is real, and the significance, what happens on the island, is actually monumental for the world. The church is just they had such a strong connection that they created something outside of the world that they all could meet at. So it didn't matter when they died. they all
It was all, like,
eventually
a
were here
century,
at the end and then passed on together because of how strong their connection was. And it was like, when I saw that, because I saw This Is 40, and they mentioned that in the movie where the girl's like crying at the end, and I'm like, she knows something I don't know.
I need to understand.
She knows something I don't know, because I didn't feel that way at the end.
I have a question as far as shows go. How have you watched Arrow, and how did you feel about it?
Hard. I've watched a season or two. I did not watch all of it.
So that is one of my
CW shows are hard for me to take really seriously.
So I did take it seriously for like a couple years because Arrow, when it first came out, I was like, oh, this is so, because I like Green Arrow anyway, like comic book wise. And I was like, this is so fucking cool. Because like the first like 3 seasons are actually really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started doing the Flash one too. Also a big Flash fan. So I was like, in the first 3 seasons of the Flash 2 were really good.
It seems to be the shelf life of a CW show.
Yes, because
Solid 3
after that,
seasons,
yeah, because after that, because I was like regular, because I was like, yeah,
Supernatural.
Yeah,
because I was like in it, like I would watch it like every week and like the whole thing, and I was so disappointed with that because I felt like they did too much.
Yeah,
and that's the sad part about like shows like, in my opinion, like shows like that, like the Flash and Arrow or whatever, is that like there's a point where you got to be like, okay, we did it.
Yep.
Like the fact that
Vampire Diary. We did it. Oh, we replayed them. Do it again? Are you crazy? Use them for a third role?
the fact that they're on salary, just fucking bring them in.
Dude. There's a point where like I like this. You're like, what the fuck are you doing now, dude? Like, so that's why I think there was a great time for a lot of those shows. Smallville, like I said, Supernatural. There's a lot of great CW shows in that time frame, but I do think once like Flash got so big and those Arrow got so big. Well, it just
changed
a little bit of.
Well, it was just like you're adding too much. Like, you know what I mean? Like the appeal, at least for me as a viewer for Arrow, was like the fact that it was gritty, which was nice. But like you were getting a backstory that was solely like Oliver and like him being the Green Arrow and where it came from and him being on the island and all of that. And then with the Flash, you were getting the same thing. Like you were getting how he became the Flash, how he's dealing with that, like him going back in time, like all that stuff. And then it got to a point where you're like adding more things that aren't necessary for you to enjoy the show.
Yep.
I have one question, then we're going to wrap up.
All right.
And it's not about movies.
All right.
How do you feel the scope of podcasting is going to go into the future?
So I used to do some work in like radio because I felt that there was like a realm that radio and podcasting could like really like combine. I don't think that's ever really going to be a thing. I think the FCC is just going to keep it too strict to really allow podcasting itself to be. You can have edited podcasts start to be put on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to be a thing that's coming up soon. Because if you can have like, let's say you can get an edited version of Two Bears in One Cave on a
that would be rough. That'd be tough.
It would. Yeah, maybe a different one that's lighter.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe some of these ones that have
the one with Amy Poehler or some shit.
Yeah. Some like really lighter ones like that. That I could see some people licensing and then putting on mainstream radio and stuff. But at the end of the day, I really think that it's gonna be the way. Like, remember how people didn't post back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
And then they started posting and they realized like that was kind of their way to use their voice.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's becoming what podcasting is, that like your posts aren't really going to get read that much or like that much further than just maybe your small vacuum.
But your video is going to get watched.
These projects become the way of you using your voice to at least like contribute into the conversations of the world. Right. And I think we're starting to see more and more of that. A lot of corporate people are starting to make podcasts because it's hard to make organic content, and they feel that they have to do it, right? When you're a big corporation and you're putting money into marketing, you have to be putting money into social media marketing, right? And then you're like, well, what do we do? How do we do this? A lot of times podcasting is like you use it as a production day where like a corporation will bring in a client or somebody like that, and they'll have 4 or 5 interviews with these people just about their job, their company, whatever it is, why they work with this company and all that. and then those get clipped up and cut, and then you just drop those and you reinforce the podcast, right? It might not. It's not going to move mountains sometimes, like because it's a corporate podcast. Sometimes people are like, I'm not really into plumbing, but some people want to talk about that shit, right? And some people do listen. But it is a way to get your business out there, your name, to be contributing into that stuff. So I do think we're going to start seeing more of that, where people will invest their money to make their own podcast studio, to start promoting their company on different things that are media.
Yeah.
So my point that I was getting at in that question is longevity wise, because obviously we've seen like 2020 was a big one. We saw the boom in podcasts. Everybody had a podcast. Everybody had a studio. Everybody had all these things because we were all at home and it was a popular thing, right? And then you see a lot of those podcasts die off, and a lot of people run out of things to say, and a lot of people don't, continue the ball rolling or lose followers or whatever. And so my question being is that, do you think podcasts will get that upswing again? Or do you think not podcasts will go away necessarily, but it'll be funneled to a certain type of podcast that stands lengthwise? So I can do this podcast right now that I've been doing for a while, and somebody can do the exact same podcast. Theirs will fall off, mine won't, or vice versa. But that's all based on like how good it is or how people are interested in. So do you think that because there's a boom in podcasts, like there's a ceiling to it, or it'll kind of funnel out who's good at it and who isn't?
I think it's going to be more so the latter of who's good and who isn't, because it depends on if it's worth listening to, right? I feel like now Netflix has podcasts as a thing, so now that's going to start being a thing where people are going to start selling their podcasts to Netflix, and they're going to become the standard of media, I believe, pretty soon, and that is going to be a big wave of people just trying to get on Netflix. I think it's tough because the organic growth is really based off of your market. And we have a small market, right? So we have to understand our numbers are not going to be what other numbers are, but we still have the option to be able to advertise to people outside of our market. And that's where you're going to find the opportunities, right? Is who's your guest, right? If you bring in a guest that crosses all those lines, and then you bring in people from outside of your market, you start becoming more and more relevant to all these other things. And then when you start getting that gas, that's really going to, now you're standing out in your market because other markets are taking notice, right? So it's getting to that point quicker, I think, instead of just continuing to keep just doing it for your own circle. We're in our own circle right now, right? But what we're doing is we're also diversifying not only just our guests, but we have the venue, we have opportunities of bigger names to come in, and we can say, hey, would you mind talking with us for 35 minutes, an hour, just so we can like emphasize you and what you're doing, and like, it doesn't charge, right? We don't charge them like that. Like, we can get some more of that going. I think we'll get some of those things happening, but it's also about adapting and keeping it on brand, though. We love movies. People love to talk about movies. We've talked about starting a separate podcast that's specifically focused on movies. Do we completely make it a separate brand, separate thing? I don't think that's the right way.
No, because it's still it's still in your guys' brand and still in what you guys would do anyway, regardless.
Because there's going to be different audiences and different things, and eventually we're going to have maybe some other people will take over the actual Mad World podcast part because it is a collective, and maybe we move on to this portion of it where we do see some traffic going here. And like opening to adapting like that is what I think is going to make it be more than just that one thing. Your mom's house stuff with Tom Segura, he's providing jobs for a lot of different people because it's a lot of different shows, because it's all still under the umbrella, right? And I think that's what we have to do, because that's different than what other people are doing in this area.
Well, also like I've said, I mean, I've said this to you, obviously, about podcasting in general, is that that's where I see the audience and the want, and like people wanting that kind of form of podcast is like stuff like this, like sitting around shooting the shit the same way you would do with your friends, or like Pete Davidson's thing that he just started, like his, like, yeah, he has the production value of it, but like the camera angles are still off. Like there's still a lot of wall to like a little bit of his head. Like it still has that like starter podcast feel to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like those are the podcasts that people are going to gravitate more towards in the future than the well-polished, these are our notes that we have to talk about and all the things, because I feel like people are over that. Like we got that during COVID and everything, when there was a boomer podcast, that people are over like the polished version of it. They just want to see people shoot the shit and
there's a sweet spot.
Feel.
I think there's a sweet spot because like when you can make clips easily, it's gonna be beneficial, right? And like people want to see it at least with the clarity of the clips. Now we've seen there's a huge variety of styles you can do. Shits and Gigs has their own style where they'll cut and have both on. Like it always does depend on the amount of hosts that you have and guests and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think people do like that part of the engagement. So you got to be able to at least, I think, get to that point to make the jump to start making money and start making it as a job.
Yep.
I think in local, what we do, there's a realm for us to be able to start doing ads eventually and start charging for ad reads and stuff like that. But you have to show the proof of concept with the amount of people that you get, and we're still just too early to be able to really ask people for that. We'll do some. We've done a couple that we've made just for certain companies that work with the venue and with the dispensary and everything, just to give them an attaboy to be like, hey, we could do this regularly if you want. But we're not doing it to make the money, and that's why I think we're making it a standard that this is just happening every week. It's hopefully one day going to be a moneymaker. We're not doing it to make the money. We're doing it to promote the venue, and the more we promote the venue, the more people come in. The more people come in, the more this becomes a well-known place for artists to come into to perform and to plan their shows and to book on their tours. And like that's going to provide more people for us when it comes to guests that we bring in. And it's going to be this nice, conducive system that we have. But it starts with us really putting in grind work. And it is a pain to get to that production level, but we are able to do a lot of clips pretty easily with the way that we've done it now, and that's why I feel like we're in the bottom tier of that real sweet spot to be able to kind of hit all of those. But like we do need to upgrade some stuff. Like two of our cameras are 4K, but to get them to 4K, it's a bitch. Like it really is a bitch, and I could fix that with like $1,200.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And it could just be a bop,
just a minor $1,200. It's not a big, it's not a big deal.
But at the end of the day, these companies that are like, hey, here's $5,000, we'll build a podcast.
Yeah,
you know, and like they're doing it every other day. Like I see it. The thing for us is we get to do what we want to do. We get to be authentic. We get to bring in the people that we want to bring in. At least, you know, after we go back and forth with Christian and stuff. And I think that is going to be the thing that allows us to grow, is just the fact of how many different people would want to come on, and we're okay with coming on because we'll adjust to the guest. We're going to make the guest vibe feel what the podcast is that day. That's the newness of it. It's not the same thing and the guest is just sitting in on our thing. I love those. Bad Friends is kind of like that, where you're like your guest is jumping in.
I was going to say, you're just here to watch this, pretty much.
And they highlight them, and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, like they're in on it. We kind of adjust to the guest and allow them to do their thing, and we're emphasizing their thing.
Well, that's kind of what I was gonna quickly mention, is that I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a thing, and it's boring to some, but the Fold.
Yeah.
They have, it's just a bunch of comedians playing poker.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it's like,
yeah, okay.
It's 3 hours long of them just playing poker.
Well, that sounds fun though.
It's so funny.
Yeah, Uncle Laser's on there.
So,
a lot,
yeah,
right?
Uncle Laser, Kim Cotton, it's so funny.
Did they actually bet though?
Oh yeah.
I
totally a couple times. Just putting cash on the table to keep going.
Oh yeah, like there's multiple times in a 3 hours. They all start out with $200. They're buying in 6-7 times at $200 a pop. Like winning, it's so fun. They have the house. They have their house dealer.
I'm gonna start watching that. I swear.
But Yeah, and I'm a big poker fan, so I watch it all the time, and it's so funny. But that's kind of what I'm saying is like that setup is just having a whole bunch of comedians come play poker, and it's a clip farm because like they're funny and they're just interacting and they're just like joking with each other. But it's that calm, like we're just hanging out sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
With
so
the
like it
intensity
feels
of we're playing poker.
yeah,
for real
so it
money.
feels natural. It
Yeah.
feels like as you're watching it, you're not like, oh, they're doing a bit, or like, oh, like even on one of them, they like they do like quick ads as they're playing. Like with one of them has a beer, and they're like, stop by for a beer. At this like even those things like feel like natural,
Yeah.
and that's what I appreciate about you guys, and what is entertaining for me watching the podcast is that it doesn't feel with all the people I've seen come on here and with how you guys are and interact with them, it doesn't feel scripted. It doesn't feel like, well, we have this guest today, so let's make sure we hit this. Like
Which
it
sometimes
feels,
we do. We want to do our due diligence,
but
and
it feels very natural. Like even though you have these things, it doesn't feel forced that you're like, oh, this person's here, so I have to mention this thing.
Yeah. And I think, dude, I'm excited to see it grow because, like, we talk about the movie podcast.
Yeah.
And, like, the setup of the movie podcast, I have not seen anybody do yet to where I'm going to be able to create a live watch party with somebody and they can jump into the party, read a chat that's solely for this watch party. We can all watch it in sync together. And if you choose to listen to us during it, you can, right? Because we're going to talk like we're not worried about talking during it, right? And what was that show? Some 3000. Where the robot
Magic movie or no movie theater.
mystery science theater.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
It's essentially going to be that, but like a new updated version. Because once I realized these watch parties are free, you don't have to pay for a subscription to do it. You just have to have a subscription to whatever whatever the platform is.
Why not do it?
Why not?
Yeah.
When we go on TikTok and we watch somebody's illegally putting on Spider-Man, whatever.
There's games or some shit.
There's 1,000 people watching them because they like the community of that. And I think if we can find a way to do that well, that could be freaking fun. Like, because then we're just watching movies, we're talking shit about movies, we make clips about the movies and all that shit. Like, oh man, that will be
especially with your guys' setup that you have already. Like, you could literally do it right here.
Yeah.
And like watch the chat and like
Yeah, I think it'd be so fun. And we can do this for a lot of other people too. Like the bigger the team we get, I can train more people to do this. We can get more equipment. Hopefully we get more space. We can build more of these studios. Like there's so much we can do if we get the support. I think the sky's the limit, man.
Definitely.
I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, man.
Thanks for talking, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god! Get him!
Check out. I hope my face.
Check out Mad World